So, as someone working as a law firm lead for many years and who now coaches lawyers, I'm acutely aware that neglecting one's own health is really easily done. Just as important is keeping an eye on the physical and mental health of your team. So, I'd like to introduce Jules Anderson from Feel Glorious, who specializes in helping exhausted professionals reclaim their health.
Hi, Jonathan. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Great to have you with me. Can you tell me something about your background and how you got into the wellness space?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been really interested in health, right back from when I was a teenager. And I used to do yoga when no one had ever heard of it from an old tatty book from the 70s that my mum owned. So I've always been really interested in health and feeling really good. And I studied chemistry at university, and it was always the biochemistry that really fascinated me. All the different elaborate processes that were going on in our body every second of every day. But over the years, I was always the sort of slight geek who would go and study aromatherapy or Ayurveda or anatomy and physiology on my weekends or my holidays. And so I've always read all the books and studied all the different modalities just because it really fascinated me on how can we feel the best we can possibly be, because days are better when you feel really good. When you're feeling really unhealthy or tired or fatigued, you don't do as much with your day. You don't feel as
Yes.
happy or fulfilled. You don't take the same kind of risks. So also I've been really fascinated, not just with the core of the scientific and technology part of health, but also all the Eastern traditions, which treat the body much more as a whole person, treat you as a whole person in a life and in an environment rather than just looking at symptoms. And I think in all my work, both of those modalities really inform the kind of Eastern meets Western meets technology is coming together in the work that I do.
I see. Yes. It'd be great to hear a bit more about your approach to supporting the health of professionals. I think you describe yourself as an integrative health, nutrition, and being consultant. Perhaps you can
That's
explain
very
that.
true. So integrative in the way that, again, treating the whole person.
Yeah.
A lot of particularly Western medicine, Western approaches focus on managing symptoms. At best, they are you're putting a plaster over something or you're taking a painkiller, you're masking what's going on. So you're giving some relief, but it's temporary.
Yes.
And the way you manage it has to be ongoing. So
Yeah.
if you have a pill or a cream or a technique, you have to do it on an ongoing basis because you're only ever managing the symptom. Whereas in integrative health, we're looking at all the different aspects of your life that affect your health. And when you
Yes.
look at those and you can make tweaks, make adjustments and bring your body back into balance, you alleviate the problem at the root cause level. So
Yes.
it's like turning off the tap of the problem instead of constantly putting your fingers over all the holes of the leaks and trying to
Yes.
plugging lots of different leaks, when actually what you need to do is turn the tap off and find the root cause of the problem. So it brings in all aspects of a person and their life, not just the nutritional piece, but
Yes.
stress levels, how well you're sleeping, what kind of toxins are in your environment. And that's not just what you eat, but just generally, and look at that as a big picture,
Yes.
and with a view to alleviating it at root cause. And
Yes.
that's lasting. That way, the results last, and you don't have to keep endlessly managing symptoms. So it becomes more effortless for people because
Yes.
they've solved the problem. They know how to keep the root problem at bay. And then it doesn't require so much effort.
Yes. I get that. Are there any particular issues which are coming up as themes more and more these days that you particularly notice among professionals?
Do you know, in the sort of 14 years or so that I've had my own business, I've really noticed change in what people come to me for.
Right.
And particularly now, it's far more around mental health aspects and anxiety,
Yes.
things like trouble sleeping, trouble managing stress. I work with a lot of senior level professionals,
Right.
So they're busy, they're ambitious, they're used to managing things and
Yes.
finding ways to solve problems. But the problem is, you get what I encounter all the time is what I call the success paradox. As you get more and
Right.
more successful in your career,
Yes.
you take on more and more responsibilities. At the same time, you tended to have got more responsibilities at home, families, mortgages, maybe aging parents come into the mix as you move up the career and success ladder. So you have more and more responsibilities, less and less time to put your own health and your own well-being first.
Yes.
So a
Yeah.
lot of things people would classically have done 10 years previous, spent time doing sport or moving or whatever their hobby is, and spending time with friends, relaxing. We're now so much more of a 24/7 work culture. We're always dialed into our work. And particularly for the more senior professionals, you've got this added responsibility of you've got a business to run or a team to manage, employees to focus on. And there's this double squeeze of more responsibilities, less time, and people are neglecting their own health. And it's a false economy. Health, time spent on your health isn't a cost. It's an
Absolutely not.
investment.
Yes.
Every hour or minute you invest in keeping your own health supported reaps benefits in every single other area of your life, from the way you perform at work to the way you show up in relationships, to what you can give to your family, your community, your parents, etc. So it's that what people see as, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. Actually, if someone came to you and said, if you invest into this one thing, it will have knock on positive effects of every other aspect of your life, you would do it.
Yeah.
People don't recognize that their health is so fundamental, and that can creep up on you as you move up the career ladder. So particularly I see a lot in law firms, especially
Right.
because classically people are very focused, they're overachieve, they want to create excellence, they're really dedicated to their jobs,
Yes.
and they're pushing the boundaries of work-life balance. And they could
Yeah.
actually benefit. It's not, even with the billable hours equation, they're
Yeah.
taking away an hour of your time to focus on your health actually is going to be more. All the research shows in terms of productivity, in terms of performance, as well as for your own well-being in the workplace, it reaps benefit over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. And that very much reflects my own experience and observation of those around me as well. Now, I understand you do corporate, so you work with individuals, but you also do corporate wellness programs as well. Perhaps you could just briefly tell me about those.
I do. So all of my programs that are based around all those different pillars of wellness that cover all the aspects of your health and lifestyle. So as well as those individual one-on-one and group programs, I work in a sort of consultancy format with a lot of businesses, and I'll create something still very much rooted in the principles of integrate health and long-term sustainable change. But with corporates, depending on their needs, I can offer talks and workshops. I'll often be brought in to help start conversations about the importance of health and mental health and things like the physical component of mental health. It's not just about talk therapy, it's about getting your body in a physically healthy space, because that has
Yes.
on mental health. So those conversation starters have been really successful for people to start to raise awareness in their employees and their workers and their teams. And then also I can create group programs, individual programs, depending on what is most beneficial for that particular company at that time. It's often driven by changes in policy. So I've been involved a lot recently with firms who are there's a lot of firms now introducing menopause policies. They're introducing support for mental health within their provision to staff. And often I will come in as a resource to either help raise awareness or provide program for that ongoing, more personal support for anyone who needs some extra help. Because in my experience, a lot of companies, there's been huge amounts of investment in big technological ways of delivering help. And companies have these big bags of resources they can offer employees. But for most people, particularly the very successful senior people,
Yes.
are time poor.
Yes.
Having a
Yes.
big bank of
And
resources doesn't help. So being able to
because
provide
they have to make the choices themselves as to where to go. Whereas
and
if you come in, you can guide people as well as, in some cases, offer the appropriate therapy and so on. Yeah.
and both personalizing what they do, because when it's personalized, you get there quicker. You're
Yeah.
not wasting time on things that aren't appropriate or don't work.
Yeah.
So it's personalized, and you're just able to give them a path to progress, which you don't get with these, whilst they're very comprehensive and very cost effective.
Yeah.
If you're measuring cost effectiveness from volume, you could say, yes, we can serve loads of people. If you're affecting cost effectiveness by actually do you create sustainable change in your people, they don't work.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's where something that's more one-on-one, more bespoke and
Yeah.
more guided can be really beneficial. But it's very much tailored to the individual needs of the
Yes.
organization.
Yes. Which is very similar to the approach that I take with my one-to-one coaching, though I work in other ways as well. So that's really fantastic, Jules. Now, if somebody wants to get in touch with you to hear more about your work, what's the best way to do it?
They can do through several ways. You can always email me at jules@feelglorious.com. My website is Feel Glorious, and I'm on all the socials as Glorious Jules.
I think
So
that's a pretty catchy, easy name to remember, actually. So, um, um, that people should be able to find you without any problem at all. It's been
yeah.
absolutely fantastic speaking to you. Really, thank you very much for sharing with us what you do and how you help people.
Absolute pleasure. It's been lovely to talk to you. Bye bye.